mushrooms, ham, cheese. Three ingredients people wouldn't necessarily associate with China, but here in Yunnan province in the southwest of the country, these three ingredients are three major exports. So over the next three videos, I'm going to be diving right into the culture and history behind each of these three unexpected ingredients. The industry, the taste, how it's integrated into the local cuisine. I'm going to be covering all the bases, so grab your snacks and get comfy because our mushroom adventure is about to begin.
Hello, and welcome to another Chinese food adventure. And today is the first installment of what I'm calling the great ham, mushroom, and cheese tour of Yunnan. And in very exciting news, I'm not going to be doing this tour alone. I actually have a friend joining me. She's just arrived in China. She's almost at the hotel. Alice! Hello!
I'm so excited for you guys to finally meet Alice. Okay, I'm gonna do the proud friend thing because I know you're not gonna toot your own horn. You're way too modest. Alice is probably the most impressive person I know. Oh. You were the smartest girl at school, so that's how we know each other. We met at school.
Yeah.
So you were obviously really smart, but we were never like super close at school. We never really talked.
We knew each other, but we weren't in the same friend circle. But
Yeah.
I just remember seeing Amy, and she was always really kind, always really hardworking, always really good at school and everything she did. And my first real memory of you was doing Chinese history together towards the end, like year 12, right?
Yeah, we had that same class
Yeah.
together, which actually, funnily enough, that was where my interest in China started.
And then you went on to Chinese TV and you came to China.
And then you went off to Harvard. So basically, back on so I'm going back to boasting about Alice here. So Alice after school then went to Harvard, of course, and then went to Stanford, and now is an economist, right? But not just an economist. Alice is an amazing chef. She posts the most amazing Instagram stories and photos, and she is so good at cooking that she was actually on MasterChef in Australia. If you know anything about MasterChef, Australian MasterChef is the best in the world.
It is the best.
And you went so far. What was it like being on MasterChef?
Oh, it was crazy, but it's so much fun. It's high pressure. You make amazing friendships. I've got friendships for life.
That's so cool.
I learned so much, but it's something that I never would have thought that I'd do.
And I never thought I would be in China. I love that we have connected later in life.
Yeah.
And have this
Isn't that
passion
crazy?
for food.
I thought I was going to be a lawyer when I graduated from high school.
I thought I was going to be a banker. Like, things just went weird for us.
They did.
But in the best way. And now we are here in Kunming about to discover all about the mushroom industry. So
excited.
strap yourselves in and yourself as well. Go get changed because we're going to go find some mushrooms. Yeah.
See ya.
Okay, let's talk mushroom industry here in Yunnan, or as many people call it, the Kingdom of Fungi. It's a fitting name really because yeah, you can find a whole lot of fungi here. And you know what? I'm sure a lot of fun guys too. Haha, budumsh. So here's a statistic for you. There are over 2,500 known edible fungi species worldwide, but get this, a whopping 900 of them, or 36%, are found right here in Yunnan province. That's absolutely wild. And talking of wild, well, that's exactly what the mushroom industry here is known for. Wild mushrooms, foraged by locals in the wild, and you won't believe the prices people are paying to get their hands on some of the rarer varieties. This is probably a good time to mention that mushrooms generate hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue annually and is a major export of the province. So to learn more about this industry, our first stop today is the mushroom market here in Kunming, where every morning mushrooms are arriving from all over the province to be sold to restaurants and individual buyers.
The variety of mushrooms is absolutely insane.
Out of this world.
Big mushrooms, small mushrooms.
Skinny mushrooms, fat mushrooms.
Do you recognize
I know.
any of these? Like,
Well, these are the matsutake. It's a type of Asian mushroom that's kind of like a meaty texture. This one's really cool, this skinny long one. It's called jitong. From the name, you can tell that it has to do with chicken. It smells and tastes like chicken. Wow. But they grow below termite colonies because the termites spread the spores of the mushrooms. So if a termite colony dies or goes away, then these mushrooms die too. It's a weird symbiotic relationship. This one is really unique. It's called bamboo pith. It doesn't even look like a mushroom. It kind of looks like tripe. And it's the texture of tripe, which is why they love it in China. It's because it's kind of like almost crunchy texture. Okay, so these are truffles. We know them in the West. Truffle just looks like poo, doesn't it?
you make me laugh. You go from being so articulate and like, this is this mushroom, this is that mushroom, this is what it does. Hey, truffles look like poo.
Expensive poo. So this is gamba mushroom. And it apparently has like a beefy kind of, so known as a beef mushroom because it's got a beefy sort of flavor. And they grow on pine trees. So apparently if you smell it, and I can smell it now, it's got a very like fragrant, almost piney scent.
He's just taken a little bit off this mushroom and burnt it for us to, whoa.
哦，太香了，
太香了，这个可以生吃吗？还是？
可是蜜 太好吃啊！
我还想我有点紧张。
人民币5元呢？
这个
人民币5元了那一点。
I don't think I will eat it raw because I've heard that certain mushrooms, if you don't cook them long enough or if you eat them raw, can actually, I don't know, make you kind of hallucinate. So I think I'm going to play it a bit more safe when it comes to this mushroom adventure, but wow.
一公斤多少？
Yep, you heard that right. 1,500 renminbi or $210 per kilo. And the prices just go up from there. This one here, people pay exorbitant amounts for, and you'll soon understand why.
So this one is a reishi mushroom. It looks really crazy big. People in the West know it because it's very good for brain development. Apparently it can prevent cancer. It's got these really strong, effective medicinal qualities.
How crazy is that? Fungi is incredible, and it's estimated we only know around 20% of the wild mushrooms that exist on our planet, and even less about the potential benefits and impact of these various fungi on our world.
But I was reading about one variety of mushrooms last night that I don't think it's actually grown in Yunnan, but it's grown near like Sichuan, Qinghai area in China, and it's called the caterpillar fungus. And you may have heard of it. It's a cordyceps variety, and you may know it because the series The Last of Us was based on that variety of fungi. And basically what happens is the fungus goes into the caterpillar and then grows inside the caterpillar and then eventually like grows out of the caterpillar. And it's very, very expensive actually. They call it like a variety of Viagra, so of course it's expensive. Anything that'll make a willy bigger or stronger or better is going to be super expensive. And apparently the price of this fungi is more than gold. For the most part, it's only mushrooms sold at this market, but there is one other thing here that I'm seeing everywhere. There are so many vendors selling it, and it's, what is it called again?
Fengyo. They use the larvae from the honeycomb and then they just fry them.
And they
Apparently
eat the larvae.
Yeah, they eat the larvae.
And the thing that I'm finding really interesting is they've got larvae at all different stages of development.
Yes,
They've got
yeah.
really tiny little wriggly ones, they've got bigger ones that essentially look like full-grown wasps that are still white.
They're picking them out, as you can see.
This looks like something I would really like to do. I mean, I love popping a good pimple. I feel like this really appeals to me.
Anyway, back to mushroom market content, and wow, did I mention it's super busy here? Sellers actually drive their vans directly inside and are then swarmed with customers who want to buy the freshest mushrooms right out of the truck, right from the forest. But it's not just fresh mushrooms that people are loving here in Kunming, but also dried mushrooms too. Alice and I traveled across town to what I've been told has the biggest variety of wild dried mushrooms in the world. Here we're meeting with Rocco, who's been exporting porcini mushrooms from Yunnan to Italy for decades.
They find during the 18th that in Yunnan the quantity of wild mushroom of porcini is very high.
Is that because of the weather?
Yes, a tropical city, tropical province at 1,800 meter high is the province with the most big quantity of wild mushroom on the world. Around 80% of the quantity that we eat in Europe and we use in the USA is come from Yunnan.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely, it blows my mind.
Today we're lucky enough to get an inside look of Rocco's porcini warehouse.
Oh, the smell in here is amazing.
Tomorrow we will load the container. This is going to Italy.
Do you have any of your like clients or people that you sell to that, or people that you tell what you do here in China and they have a surprised reaction like, oh, porcini mushrooms in Yunnan?
Yes. Most of the people, they don't know. They believe come from Italy, but in Italy is impossible. Italy is a small country and the quantity is not enough for the Italian and also European.
Upstairs, you've got even more porcini.
In terms of US dollars, how much is in this room, do you think?
This 3 floor is around 500,000 US dollars.
Oh my gosh.
More than 500,000.
$500,000 of mushrooms.
More. We have this quantity to export because local people, they don't like
porcini.
They don't like porcini because for them is little sour. The taste is on the back is little sour. They like all other kinds of wild mushroom except porcini. Why we can export?
Honestly,
that?
it sounds like a win-win situation.
Yes.
The locals can make money, you can get your porcini, and Italians are happy.
So Rocco is constantly receiving deliveries of porcini mushrooms that have been picked and dried by locals in the countryside. Once it arrives at Rocco's warehouse, the mushrooms undergo several rounds of inspection to remove any foreign bodies and also any mushrooms that are not exactly this variety of porcini.
Right here you have a bowl of non-porcini mushrooms,
yeah.
but for me they look exactly the same.
Yes.
This is a job that requires a seriously trained eye.
All these people come from countryside and
Yeah.
they have more than 20, 30 years of experience because
Amazing.
they must know the different varieties.
In terms of the quality and the taste, how does it compare, let's say, a Yunnan porcini to an Italian one?
If you take one porcini from Italy and one from China and you mix it, it's impossible to say that this is from China, this is
Interesting.
from Italy. It's impossible. It's impossible to see. It's the same. So beautiful. Wow.
So beautiful, it's
Like European mushroom, same. This is the fresh matsutake. They do in a little case with the ice. It's very nice, uncooked. Just a slice, like with the wasabi and soya sauce, is very nice. In Japan, it's very famous because the legend said that was the first thing that grew after the atomic bomb. Why they say that matsutake also help against the cancer.
As you can imagine, it's a pricey one.
This box here, I've just been told, is 800 renminbi for one box. So that's
right.
roughly over 100 American dollars for this box of mushrooms.
And even at such prices, the demand is incredible. We stumbled across this store packaging these fresh matsutake to ship all around the world. And you can only imagine how valuable the contents of this refrigerator, absolutely packed floor to ceiling with matsutake mushrooms, is. No wonder this refrigerator also doubles as a vault. I mean, I'd be doing that too. We even went to one store that sold matsutake spirits, and you won't believe this, even a matsutake mooncake.
And that's what it looks like on the inside.
Alice and I were lucky enough to sample a slice.
I like this one a lot. It's kind of savory sweet.
Honestly, if I ate it and you didn't tell me it was a mushroom mooncake,
Tastes like a mooncake.
I don't know if, actually I think it gives a lot of nice texture in there
It
as well
does.
from that mushroom.
Yeah.
I can't believe the first time I'm eating matsutake is in yuebing form.
Oh yeah.
Turns out, not the end of our mooncake adventure. They also have black truffle mooncakes, good lord.
Oh my gosh, it's black truffle mooncake, guys. I've made a lot of mooncakes too, but I've never
You've
had
made
it.
a mooncake.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on different planets right now. On Mars.
As black truffle itself is much heavier in flavor, this mooncake was also a lot mushroomier than the matsutake one. And turns out I didn't have to wait long at all until my second matsutake experience. Upstairs, they have a restaurant where they serve the freshest A-grade matsutake straight from the market.
It's okay.
It's okay, no one's here.
And this we're eating raw, dipped in soy sauce and wasabi, like Rocco mentioned a bit earlier.
You are going to love it.
So you don't cook it? You have it
Much,
raw?
you can cook also, but in this way is the best way. How the Japanese people eat. This one is in this way.
Wow,
I tell you.
that is incredible. The flavor.
Crispy, flavor, firm bite, the smell of fresh mushroom, light, not invasive taste is wonderful.
It's very interesting. It's almost floral in the back of my mouth.
When you cook, it's not the same.
Well, I guess I'll be able to compare directly because we've also got some matsutake that have been crumbed and deep fried on our table here.
Wow. I mean, it's really good. It's got the most amazing texture to it, but you definitely lose any of that floral, delicate kind of taste that I had in the raw version. So it's essentially a different kind of mushroom once it's been cooked.
But that's not all. I bet you can't guess what these dumplings are filled with. Of course, matsutake mushrooms.
It's really good.
Oh, it's such a good dumpling. Super umami. I just find it so hilarious. 1 hour ago, I had never tried matsutake. And in the last hour, I've had 5 different varieties. I've had yuebi, I've had alcohol, I've had raw, I've had fried, and now I'm having it in a dumpling. I mean, I don't do things by halves.
And I'm not leaving empty-handed. One lucky friend is gonna hit the mooncake bonanza this Mid-Autumn Festival. Who to choose, who to choose.
Hello, we are quite on an adventure here. So one thing I really wanted to do is pick some of these mushrooms. So we found a place that actually offers tourists an experience within Kunming. It's a little bit of a drive away from the main city center, but we have found this spot and he is taking us for a drive up to the top of the mountain where apparently there are lots of mushrooms.
都能吃是吗？
哦，这些都可以啊。
都可以吃吗？
对对对，
哦
这些都可以啊。
吃的不会出现问题
啊，
哈。
不会不会，这个人工种的嘛，是
好的。
100以上的。
哦，都是人工种的。
对对对。
While there are so many varieties of mushrooms here in Yunnan, not all of them are edible. So probably the most dangerous thing you could do as a person coming to Yunnan and indulging in mushrooms is to go out and pick them yourself. We are here picking mushrooms, but we are in actually a cultivated mushroom farm. It's not exactly in the wild, but it gives tourists the opportunity to come and pick in a safe environment where all the mushrooms that are grown here are actually edible. Do you reckon I grab the whole thing or what? Just like kind of give it a good tug
I feel bad pulling out the whole thing. Maybe just a couple so you can keep going.
A couple? Oh, just do this. It looks kind of like an oyster mushroom. Big mushroom here that I'm going to pick for you, Alice. This is going to go great in your risotto. Oh!
That is really big.
Oh, those are so cute!
Isn't that the cutest family?
They don't have too many varieties here, but I guess they want to keep it on the safe side.
Although another guy who works here showed us the mushrooms he picked a bit earlier this morning just outside the boundary of the cultivated farm. Now these, my friends, these are wild mushrooms.
你怎么知道可以吃还是不可以吃？
我从小就在这个森林里面长大了，就吃我知道的。
He kindly offered us to take us outside the cultivated area to show us how mushrooms are actually growing in the wild. And wow, seeing his trained eye at work was incredible.
这个就可以吃的，
这个可以吃。
这个可以吃，只是口感不好，这个是有毒的，不能吃的。这个叫皮条菌，这个也是可以吃的，这样的也不能吃。
He's just pointed out this mushroom here, that's a wild mushroom, and he said this one you definitely cannot eat. But it's crazy because we just picked this one inside at the cultivated area, and it looks kind of similar. And it just shows you really don't want to come in here by yourself and accidentally choose the wrong mushroom. 如果你吃刚才给我看的那个，会发生什么呢？会死吗？
会的。
Okay.
Needless to say, we made sure he checked and double checked and triple checked all our mushrooms we picked, just in case.
Well, we have our mushrooms, as well as some mushroom oil you got as well.
With chili, mushroom chili oil. I'm so excited.
It's actually homemade by our new friend here, and it was delicious.
比较可以的这个。
Whoa, 好好吃啊.
So your plan is to make us a little dish. This
Yeah.
is the advantage of having Alice in our video. She's going to cook for us as well.
Yeah.
But before we get to cooking, there's one more thing here in Kunming that I really, really want to experience. And that's, of course, the mushroom hot pot.
So for a province with such incredible access to mushrooms, you bet they've absolutely nailed how to integrate the ingredient into the local cuisine. And when it comes to mushroom dishes in Yunnan province, you can't get more iconic than mushroom hot pot. It's basically exactly what it sounds like, a hot pot where the exclusive ingredient is wild mushrooms. Basically, you choose which exact mushrooms you'd like, after which a hot pot base is brought out, which is essentially a chicken broth. And here are our wild mushrooms. Aren't they gorgeous and colorful? They're all added to the hot pot, and we were given strict instructions to wait at least 15 minutes until starting to eat.
So at a lot of hot pots, they'll let you know like how long you should cook your ingredients for, but I've never received an actual timer. And I guess the reason why we have that here is if you undercook those mushrooms, in some cases it could actually be dangerous.
And the idea is you need to get rid of all the poisonous chemicals in the mushrooms. So you really need to cook these wild mushrooms very well. I feel like a witch at a cauldron brewing mushrooms. 1 minute to go. Amy's getting hungry.
Yeah, it's so slow, this timer. This is an abnormal timer. Time is going way too slow. It's like literally watching water
mushroom
boil.
time.
Before, the smell was definitely more chickeny, and now it's already transforming into something more mushroomy.
Yeah.
2, 1. We're safe. The table next door have suggested that we should start off by having some of that soup.
Wow.
Oh, it's really good. It's chickeny, it's mushroomy, it's super umami.
But it's complex at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's not one note mushroom. It feels like it's multi-noted.
Oh, it is, and it's so hearty and warming. Like, this is what I want next time I'm down with the cold.
Oh gosh, yeah, I know.
Can you imagine just how nutritious this broth is as well, with all of those mushrooms inside? Hey, now shall we try the pith?
Yeah.
I'm talking about this mushroom we saw earlier in the market. This is how it looks cooked.
I've been interested to see the texture of this, if it's tripe-like, as you said.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh.
So you think it's going to be gloopy, but it's actually got a bit of a crunch.
It's got a crunch, it's really nice. Now I guess we just go in and just start eating mushrooms as we see fit.
To best explain this mushroom hot pot experience, weirdly enough, I need to call back to the beef hot pot experience I had in Shantou a few years ago. Bear with me here. So with Chaoshan beef hot pot, all the ingredients are beef, different cuts of beef to be exact. It was when eating this beef hot pot that I discovered that when you zero in on one ingredient only, you're really able to appreciate how each cut of beef is different from the next, the unique texture each slice has, and it's the exact same situation with this mushroom hot pot here.
Wow, they're all different textures.
That one's chewy.
Some are crisp, some are soft.
They're all different.
And every mouthful brings brings a new exciting experience. But don't forget, we've got this bag of mushrooms we picked earlier here, waiting to be turned into an exciting experience of its own. But to do that, we're taking our shrooms here on a trip across the province.
Welcome to Dali. It's an absolutely gorgeous town. We're still in Yunnan and we're right by Lake Arhai, and you've got the mountains here, you've got all these beautiful villages, and we'll be exploring this town a lot more in next week's video. But I'm basically on the rooftop of my guest house, and it's a gorgeous guest house. Check this out. It's basically a guest house situated inside an old Bai style home. Also, we'll talk about more about the Bai ethnic minority in our next video. But the reason we wanted to come here in this video is they actually have a kitchen we can use, and we're really keen to use these wild mushrooms. So let's see what Alice has cooking in the kitchen. So what is cooking? What are we gonna do with these wild mushrooms?
Wild mushroom risotto.
Oh,
Italian
nice.
inspired.
So basically, we've got all of our mushrooms that we've caught here. If you want to see the full video of this, how Alice makes this wild mushroom risotto, how you can make it for yourself, make sure you head to your Instagram. So
Yeah.
where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram or YouTube at xxxx.
Yay! I have to say I'm interested in how this is going to turn out, because obviously here in China, in a small village, we weren't able to find a borio rice for our risotto, so we're trying this short grain waxy rice. Also, I want to show you how gorgeous this kitchen is, because we've got this this view over the neighboring house here. You've also got the mountains in the background. Oh.
I'm gonna cook them well so you don't get poisoned.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And oh my goodness, I cannot describe how mushroomy and incredible this kitchen smelled during this cooking process. I cannot wait to try this.
Alice, you have completely outdone yourself. This smells
Thank you.
heavenly. And I love that we've actually used the mushrooms that we picked ourselves in the wild. Wow, this is definitely a first for my channel. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for picking the mushrooms, Amy.
You know, I do my best. Okay, let's see how it tastes. Oh my God. Wow.
Isn't it really good?
That's like next level umami. Oh, and just the slightest little bit of chili from that oil as well.
know.
Which is absolutely just so delicious.
Just gives a little bit of warmth.
It does, just the warmth. And I really love this spring onion on top as well for a little
Just
bit
freshness,
of bit of
right?
freshness. It's so mushroomy and delicious. I saw a little bit of you cooking it, and you were using like the shiitake water that you were boiling the shiitake mushrooms and then putting it in.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it just brings even more mushroom taste to it, right? You're using dehydrated, using fresh, you're using mushroom broth. I just think it elevates the mushroomness.
It's amazing. It's potentially the best risotto I've ever had.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
so touched.
No, honestly. I feel very proud of our mushrooms in here.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
so
they're
mushroomy.
and it's so unique, right? How many people make Yunnan wild mushroom risotto?
I definitely will be trying to make this for myself, because it actually
Please
looks
do.
kind of simple. Like, it's just one pan.
One pan, and you can make it vegan.
Oh,
So if you don't, I put a little bit of butter. You don't put the butter, you just use oil. You have the natural creaminess of the rice starch. So normally in Chinese culture, you wash the rice to get rid of the starch.
Yeah.
As you know. But this time around, I didn't. I just kept it, as it is. And gradually, once you add more water to it, over a period of time, the starch from the rice naturally releases, and it makes that beautiful, creamy risotto texture.
what an amazing mushroom video this has
know.
been. Thank you so much for joining me and learning about the mushroom industry here in Yunnan. And I mean, we've got a lot of adventures to come. This is, of course, the ham, cheese, mushroom tour of Yunnan. So that gives you a clue as to what else we're going to be filming together. So tune in next week. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe to Alice on her YouTube, on her Instagram. What's your handle?
Alice SQ Han.
Yes, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks for
guys.
mushrooming by.
Mushrooming back.
No, that's weird, right? Thank you very much, room, for watching.
Okay, you could do that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, goodbye. Thank you very much, room, for watching this mushroom video. And we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.